Hello and a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to today's Postgrad Insights session. We're joined today by the University of Essex Online, and they're going to be talking to us about all their different programs and courses that they've got to offer, along with some extra bits and pieces, along with scholarships, funding, extracurricular activity that can help you guys. So if you have any questions throughout the session, please use the Q&A or the chat facility. We'll endeavour to get around to your questions as soon as possible. But for now, I'd like to hand you over to Sarah. This will be streamed on Facebook also. So this will come through as on your timeline, exactly how you'll see it on Zoom. So please use that. Sarah, over to you. I'll be back for the Q&A at the end.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Sarah. I'm a senior marketing executive with the University of Essex Online. I'm just going to quickly introduce the speakers and today's agenda, and then we will begin. So joining us today are Claire, Deputy Academic Director, Nicola, Senior Student Support Advisor, Lucy, a Senior Study Skills Advisor, and Ellie, who is an Admissions Advisor. So onto the agenda for today. Claire will take you through the postgraduate courses that we offer here at the University of Essex Online, followed then by Nicola and Lucy, who will talk about how we can support your studies. And then Ellie will go through the admissions and enrollment process. Okay, I will now pass over to Claire, who will give you an introduction to the university and talk us through the postgraduate courses that we offer. Okay, over to you, Claire.
Thank you. So first of all, our awarding body is the University of Essex, which is a top 15 UK university. So that's the Guardian 2026. Rated gold, so absolutely proud to be ranked gold in the Times Higher Education online learning rankings 2024, and we're silver rated as well in the teaching excellence framework. Okay, if we could have the next slide, please. Okay, so just a few bits to highlight. We've got our cutting edge learning platform, which is available all the time from anywhere within the world. Our courses are delivered 100% online, and our courses have been designed for online delivery and part-time. It's part-time study that is flexible around other commitments. A model which is entirely online and has that flexibility around other things. And we have our graduation ceremony at the University of Essex at the Colchester campus. I recently went to this summer, and it was a beautiful day, and yeah, it's an absolutely lovely campus to be at. Okay. Brilliant. So our subjects, we've got lots of different, we've got several subject areas and lots of different courses on offer. Over the next three slides, we've got different MScs and our kind of master's level programs. Just to note that we do have PG certs, PG dips, and professional courses as well. So as well as the full kind of programs here, there are ones that are shorter as well. So if we just go back to the business slide, please. So yeah, there's some different kind of courses there around the business, the project management, and the supply chain management side of things as well. Just to add, there's lots more information on our website, so I do recommend going and having a really good look through all the different detail there. So if we could have the next slide, please. We've got a list of our computing, education and health master's courses, so lots of different things amongst those, lots of really interesting subjects and courses. And then we've got another slide there which has got our remaining courses on at master's level. So if you could move to the next one, please. Okay, we've got criminology, psychology and law. So that is a very kind of quick snapshot of all of our different kind of MSc and master's level courses. As I said, there's PG certs, PG dips and professional courses as well at postgraduate level. So, as I said, I recommend having a really good look at our web pages to get more details on those, but lots of really exciting courses on offer. I understand I'm handed over to Lucy and Nicola next for the next section.
Hi, Lucy and Nicola. I believe at this stage we're going to welcome you guys on to talk through the student support, student skills, and everything to go with it. So, yeah, over to you guys.
Could we have the next slide, please? Thank you. So I'm Nicola and I'm joining you from the Business Student Support Team. So you will have a dedicated student support team depending on your area of studies. The student support team are here to support you throughout your studies with us. We can assist you with a number of non-academic or wellbeing queries. We're usually a good place to start if you've got any questions or if there's anything that you're feeling unsure about. If we don't know the answer, we can signpost you to the right department and make referrals on your behalf to one of our fantastic teams, including study skills, finance and disability.
So in terms of the study skills support that's on offer, you do have access as part of the learning platform to our study skills hub, which has a whole range of different resources from lecture casts, videos, physical resources for you to work through at your own pace. So there's lots of things accessible there as well. But in addition to that, we provide one-to-one sessions and wider workshops as well. So once every quarter, we host Study Skills Week, which is a series of live sessions around referencing, academic writing, assignment structure, writing critically, and lots of different academic skills areas. And we also have recently started to host a dissertation week, so providing support at that stage of your studies as well. But there's lots of resources and lots of guidance available from us throughout your studies, whether that's at the beginning, in the middle, or in that dissertation stage. And we're contactable as well, both via phone and email. And our working hours are UK time, Monday to Friday, from 8:30 until 5 o'clock.
I suppose in terms of the student experience as well, I can add on to this as well. So, upon all our programs are 100% online and part-time, they fit around your lifestyle. And in terms of student experience as well, upon successful completion, even though you will be studying online, you will be invited to a graduation ceremony held at our University of Essex Colchester campus. You'll have the opportunity to meet your fellow classmates as well as the staff who have supported you throughout your journey with us. So I think even though you will be studying online, I think you'll still feel connected to the community and your fellow peers and your tutors as well. Hopefully this gives you an overview of what it would be like to study online with Essex. I suppose I will pass over now to Ellie to talk a bit more about admissions process and enrollment process as well. So over to you, Ellie.
Hi, thank you. So I'm Ellie. I'm an admissions advisor for the University of Essex Online, and we are essentially the first contact when you submit your application. So if you would like to inquire about a course, you can do so through our website if you haven't quite made your mind up yet about which course you'd like to study. That inquiry will then come through to a designated admissions advisor, and we will be your support throughout your whole application process. Once you do decide to submit an application, there are 4 key documents that we need, which is your form of ID, such as a passport or driving licence, a copy of your most recent CV or resume, a 300 to 500 word personal statement just detailing why you'd like to take the course, why you feel you'd be a good fit, and what you intend to use the qualification for in the future, and your educational certificates. So if you are an international student, we do require them to be translated into English by an official interpreter if possible. Once we have received all documents needed to conduct a review, your application will then go through to the admissions managers and the academic department for review. If your application is then successful, then you'll receive an email or a call from one of the admissions advisors to advise of that. We'll also advise of the next steps. Then you'll receive a formal offer letter from us, which will contain instructions on the next steps, such as an acceptance form and a deposit payment, or any details about your payment from there. Next slide, please. So we do offer 2 separate entry routes into our postgraduate master's degrees, postgraduate diploma and postgraduate certificate. So the academic entry route, where you'd need to hold an undergraduate degree from an approved institution, and it needs to be equivalent to a UK honours degree or a relevant professional qualification. If you're unsure about the comparison of your qualification, then don't worry, we can make that comparison for you. If you just want to submit your documents, then we will take it from there. We also offer a separate work experience entry route, whereas if you don't hold any educational qualifications or a bachelor's degree, for example, then we can accept 3 years relevant work experience to the course you're applying for. If English isn't your first language, then we will require proof of English language proficiency, such as an IELTS, which you would need a 6.5 or equivalent as an overall score. If you don't hold a English language qualification, then we can provide you with our own free English language test to take. And you just need to make us aware of that at application stage, and we'll send the link to you. You also may not need to provide proof of English language proficiency if you have previously studied at bachelor's level at an English speaking institute, such as one in the USA or Canada, for example. Next slide, please. So as for the online professional courses, there's no formal qualifications required for those. They are a single module taken from one of the master's degrees, and they are 20 credits in weight. And again, you would need to prove your English language proficiency, and we would just need a copy of your photo ID for that. So the tuition fees for the postgraduate certificate, postgraduate diploma and the masters can all be found on our website. We do offer regional part scholarships for eligible countries, and we also do offer some course scholarships for eligible courses as well for the master's degrees. And the online professional, thank you. The online professional courses are fixed at £1,429. We do require the full upfront payment for that before we can enrol you onto the course. Whereas, sorry, I should have mentioned before that with the master's and the postgraduate study, we do offer a monthly payment plan for those, but we would require the upfront payment for the professional courses, excuse me. Next slide, please. So with the payment methods, as mentioned before, we do offer a monthly payment plan to help spread the cost over the duration of your course. We do also offer a 21-day money-back guarantee. So from 21 days from the day you start your course, if you decide it's not for you, or if there's any sort of personal circumstances, then you can withdraw from your course in that 21-day period and receive a full refund. We do offer a 5% discount if you decide to pay your full fees up front. That's only applicable to the master's, the postgraduate diploma and the postgraduate certificate. We do also offer a 10% alumni discount for those who have studied a bachelor's degree with us previously and decided to progress on to masters, then you will receive a 10% discount. We do offer an enhanced regional part scholarship of up to 20% for the October intake so far, and that's for international students residing in eligible regions. And as mentioned, we do offer the course scholarships of 10% for eligible courses. So the next available intake we have coming up is the 7th of October for the postgraduate study and the 14th of October for the professional courses. We do also have the 13th of January and all the rest seen on the screen here. The enrolment deadline for these courses is 5 days prior to the start date. So for example, our enrolment deadline for the 7th of October is the 2nd of October. So we do usually advise people to submit their applications around 4 to 5 days prior to that enrolment deadline, just to make sure we have everything we need to properly assess your application. Okay, so the next steps would be if you did wish to apply, you can do that through our online application form on the website. It is quite simple to follow and it is quite self-explanatory in terms of which sections you need to fill out. Again, as mentioned, we would need a personal statement and that would be integrated into your application form. So once you get to that stage, it'll ask you some questions on things like I've mentioned before about why you would like to study the course, and it gives you a few little tips on wording as well, how many words for each section. And yeah, so once we've received all documents, there may be a chance that we might need some additional documents from you. For example, we require a reference for a nursing course or any of our educational courses. We would require an employer reference, but we will make you aware of that once you've submitted your application.
Yeah, sorry. There have been some good questions come through. I think that a lot of the information that's required is kind of covered already, which is fantastic. One of the things, and sorry, you're gonna have to just point me in the right direction as to who it would need to be that needs to speak about it. One of the questions is around the difference between domestic and international students. Obviously, when you're an international student coming to a campus in the UK, it's very different to an international student doing an online course. What are the key differences between being on campus and doing it online, in particular if you're an international student? Sorry, if you point me in the direction, I don't know if you can answer that one perhaps, or if you can point me in the direction of who you think would be the best person to answer that.
I think I can answer, but obviously Claire and Ellie, if you want to, add anything as well, please feel free. So in terms of like the quality or the rigor of the courses, I think it's the same, online and on campus. And the only difference is that you will be learning online. However, the certificate that you'll get upon successful completion is the same certificate that you would have gotten if you were to study on campus. But yeah, feel free, Claire, to add to this as well if I've missed anything.
I think it's mainly around the mode of study. So there is that flexibility. There's obviously some deadlines and things in there, and but there's quite a lot that happens at a student's own pace besides those deadlines and things like that. So it's having that flexibility to kind of work through material and to study around other commitments, as I've mentioned already. So the comparison, I suppose, in terms of that delivery, in terms of kind of how students are studying and that flexibility, which I personally think is great.
And Claire, while I've got you here as
Yes.
well, if we can talk about one of the most contentious issues and areas is the use, and I've got to be careful how I say this, the use and guidance of artificial intelligence. So platforms such as ChatGPT Go, Gemini, although it's important that you use it to help you study because you'll need that in your future career, not to allow that to take over your studies. How important is that when it comes to actually looking at a course and a program?
Yeah, it's really important, something to consider, and where particularly when it comes to the assessments, it's important that students' work is their own and they're not using tools that they shouldn't be using within that. It's a very interesting question kind of across the higher education sector as a whole, so I won't kind of fully tackle that as a question, but it is something that we're kind of very aware of the technology that's out there, and when it comes to assessment, at the end of the day, we don't want things like academic misconduct and things like that. So it is something that we're very aware of and guide students about. So
I mean, like I mentioned, I think it's key to embrace it because ultimately,
yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
moving forward, I think future careers, all jobs are going to be reliant on, not overly reliant, but they will still be reliant on AI and technology, and it's important that you embrace it and use it to help you further your studies, but just make sure that it doesn't take over and become who you are.
Absolutely. It's a very interesting kind of question. It is something that we're exploring and debating and having very healthy conversations about in terms of so yeah, really interesting topic, but also a very huge topic, as you're aware.
And from an academic point of view, how do you keep students kind of keen, if that makes sense? Because what you do lose out inevitably doing everything online is that personal element in terms of being in a room with someone. Obviously, you can make up for it in other ways, but how do you do that? How is that from an Essex point of view, capitalized on?
Well, that's something that we're kind of very aware of, because we are aware of the differences in terms just not being physically within a room, but there are kind of the online seminars that students can go to and talk to. There is the opportunity to have conversations with students, but that might not necessarily look as like a traditional kind of way. So, for example, we make really good use of kind of discussion forums. So there's the opportunity. So we've got the kind of, in a way, the flexibility might mean that people are all working at different times. So we're very much kind of looking and using ways that actually it doesn't matter what time you post that post, someone can then respond to it in their own time. So that we have kind of weaved in ways to kind of allow students to still talk to each other and engage in that conversation. So yeah, it's a challenge, but there are ways around it which we've and we do recognise the difference there, and have built in ways like the discussion forums to allow people to talk to each other. So
Kind of keeping on that theme, Nicola, thank you, Claire. Nicola, if I can invite you on at this stage, because I think one of the aspects that we heard about during your stage of the presentation was how comforting and warm you make a student feel when they join, whether it be accessibility issues, whether it might be mental health issues, whatever it might be, you guys are always there. From a student perspective, when they're looking at joining the University of Essex Online, what kind of demographic is it like? Obviously, when you're in a building and you are on campus, like I've mentioned before, it's very easy on the eye to see they're older than me, they're younger than me, they're at a different stage of their life. Do you guys benefit from that because you don't have that kind of fear or that kind of known in your eyes? Or and likewise, does that perhaps help when it comes to a culture that everyone's in the same boat?
We've got such a wide variety of students that join us from international and other regions that we're very familiar with talking to students and making students feel comfortable from wherever they are. We're available to talk to students via Zoom, so we can have like video chats and make it a little bit more personable than it would be perhaps just over a call or an email. So we do pride ourselves in offering quite a wide range of support to students. And like I say, if we don't know the answer, we definitely know who to direct students to.
Yeah, and from a student perspective, when they do apply and they've enrolled and they got into the position, um, how easy is it to reach out? Because even if you're on campus, even if you're at a university, it can be a lonely place, and you just sometimes don't know who to reach out to or whoever that might be. What plans are in place to ensure that a student has always got that accessible to them?
So right from enrolling, we obviously get all the student information and we reach out to them immediately. We're offering students a little welcome call just to sort of talk through any concerns or answer any questions that they might have straight away from the off. We've got a dedicated advisor for each student, so you'll always have that person that you can reach out to. Like I say, we can live chat with students, Zoom call with students, whatever suits the particular student's need, really.
Sure, and I think thank you for your time, and Nicola. I think at this stage I'd like to kind of move on to Ellie, if that's okay, because I think from an admissions point of view, this question's more towards her. Ellie, if you'd like to just pop on a second.
Yeah.
It's more around the kind of so when they're actually applying for the program or the course, there is this old age myth that if you study online, it doesn't have the same bearing, it doesn't have the same kind of capabilities that a degree, campus-based degree would have. I know that's a load of rubbish, but you must still hear that quite a lot. What are the key differences between studying online to studying on campus, especially when it comes to applying? Because obviously there's so many things and factors that you don't have to factor in, like where you're going to live and how affordable it is. What are the key differences? But what do you see when students apply that matter to them?
So the main thing is the, like you've just mentioned about, is it the same as if you were to study on campus, the same quality of kind of course? We know that it is, and we do advise everybody that it is. They are fully recognised degree programmes in partnership with the University of Essex Online, delivered by Kaplan Open Learning. They the degree that you would receive once you've completed it would look exactly the same as the one that it does on campus. The only thing that would be the difference is that on the transcript it would just say the mode of delivery was online. In terms of studying online, it's mostly the flexibility. So we get a lot of people and a lot of students that are working full time, and they may not be able to fit full-time campus-based study around their schedules. Whereas with our programs, you can access the virtual learning environment 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anytime that suits you. You can access it from your mobile phone, from your tablets. If you had if you had time between a meeting or anything like that, you can go on and have a look to see if you've got any tasks set. And again, as mentioned before, there is discussion forums on there. There are also live sessions delivered once every 2 weeks with the tutors, and they're live seminars or live question and answer sessions if you are able to attend. But if you're not, they are recorded as well for you to revisit. So again, the main thing with our programs is just the flexibility of it, really.
Yeah, I think what I'd be keen to hear from you is one of the biggest areas of growth that we've seen at graduate level, master's level, over the last, I would say, 10 years is the introduction and the increase in the rise of the amount of mature students that
Hmm.
are now applying for postgraduate courses. Now, this could be many reasons that you've just discussed, but I think accessibility, flexibility, two words that are definitely at the forefront of that. Um, what type of student does typically apply for University of Essex through Kaplan Online Learning? Is it your stereotypical just come out of university, done their 3 years, go into their fourth year with you guys, or is it a mix and match of all different types of career stages?
It's a complete mix and match. So, for example, we may have a student that they might not hold any formal qualifications, but they've been working in that field for over 20 years, and they feel that it might be time to gain an official qualification for that. So they will apply because they can see they can do it without actually going to campus and being there full time. They can also work their full time career as well as that. So that's just one example, but we do get a lot of a mix. We do get students that are fresh out of studying an undergraduate that just decide they don't want to really study on campus anymore, so they'll go for an online because they want to work full time, or they may have other commitments like a family or anything like that. So we do get a massive variety of students of all ages, all stages of their lives.
And I think we saw the different intake dates, which is great, the program start dates. I think that's one of the benefits of studying online is, although yes, there are still term dates and semester dates and credits that you have to use,
Hmm.
it can be done and started pretty much whenever you like. But when is the next intake date, and how important is it to get that over as soon as possible to give you enough time to kind of go, right, I've been accepted, right, what are the next steps? I need to get ready.
So the next available intake is the 7th of October for the Masters and the Postgraduate Diploma Certificate. So we would, the enrolment deadline is the 2nd of October, so it's 5 days prior. We would usually advise students to submit their application no later than around 4 to 5 days before that enrolment deadline. So I would say if you are looking to start in October, submit your application within the next week at the most, I would say, the very most, just to ensure we've got everything we need to properly assess their application. And then once the application process has been reviewed and everything, and the offer letter's been out, it just gives people adequate amount of time, if they are self-funding, to make sure they have got the funds, or if it's, for example, if you're a UK student and you're going through student finance, then that could be quite a lengthy process as well. So yeah, we usually would say around a week before the enrolment deadline, which is
And
around a week and a half before the intake.
And things to factor in for students when, you know, that 4 to 5 days minimum, things like English language requirement. What is the minimum requirement? And if they're not quite up to scratch, because there's bound to be many students from all over the globe that are perhaps not 100% on their English, what opportunities are there for students to enhance that?
So like I said, we do offer a free online English language test to take. We will send that to the student if they make us aware that they don't hold a qualification or they haven't previously studied in English. So the test takes around 50 to 90 minutes to complete. It can be done on the same day as being sent. So yeah, we just, like I said, if there's any issues, just communication is the main key, so we can act on it as quick as possible to ensure they have everything they need to submit for the next intake.
For sure. And there will be students that will be studying programs and courses at undergrad level now, or they might have studied it a few years ago and want to obviously go for that stage of their career where they get master's studies. What are the different opportunities for students? Because it might just be that although they have a business related degree, that you might see it fit as they do a different program at master's level. Is there the opportunity of a student coming up to you and go, look, this is the degree I've got, this is what I want to do, I'm not 100% sure yet what program is best for me? Will you sit down with a student and work that out with them?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so if someone wanted to schedule in a call with us to discuss, because they, like you said, they might not have any idea of where to go, or we can certainly advise on that. We can be chatted to through the live chat function as well, which is instant. We've got a WhatsApp as well, and through email and call. So yeah, if of course we would be more than happy to advise anyone pre-application stage if they have any doubts or they need any help with anything.
And thank you. I'm not sure if this is for you, so please guide it towards Nicola, Lucy, or Claire if it is required to be picked up by them. Post-graduation career opportunities. One of the key aspects now for anyone when they're looking at graduate degrees is what are their options post-graduation? What are the partnerships that you've got? What are the opportunities once they've graduated to go on and get employment? How does that sit with you guys? And how strong are you with that? And how much of a hand-holding exercise is there once graduated? I don't know if that's you or whether it needs to be one of the other three ladies, but
yeah, it might be one of the
put me in the
three, to be
direction, that'd be
honest.
great. There's many universities and online programs that will kind of do a bit of a hand-holding exercise and go, well, this is what we recommend you do next with that degree. What do you think would be the best opportunity for a student once they've graduated? Claire, I've seen you've come on there. If you'd like to
I can't fully answer your question, but I suppose it's around kind of our student body in terms of a lot of our students are already in work. So that potentially changes kind of I suppose maybe your question slightly in terms of we've got a lot of students who are already working, and some of them come to us some of them come to us because they're interested in the subject. Some of them want to progress at work and gain new skills. So actually, we've got such a diverse student body that then go on to different things afterwards. So in terms of your question around kind of what do people go on to afterwards, we've got so many different courses and so many different circumstances there. It's difficult to kind of, I can't give a one answer to you with that one because it's so wide.
And I know you mentioned I think you mentioned Colchester that you were in earlier on in the week or a couple of weeks ago with regards to the graduation.
It was the graduation ceremony this summer.
Yeah.
So in July.
Is that something that all students have the opportunity to do if they wish? Obviously, if they're UK based, then it's a lot more easier to get to. But
I believe all students have that opportunity that are completing their degree. I believe places are limited, but so not absolutely, not everybody will want to come to the graduation ceremony for various reasons. But there is that opportunity for all students who are completing a degree with us to be at graduation, subject to the places with it. I'm not too sure how that process works. I don't know if anyone on the call is involved in that side of things, but
okay. Claire, thank you very much. All the ladies in the background, Claire, Sarah, Ellie, Lucy, Nicola, thank you for your time. If anyone has any questions, anything related to this session at all, this will be on demand. So you might be watching this on YouTube or on postgrad.com as we speak. If you have any questions at all, please visit online.essex.ac.uk/contact-us. Alternatively, one of the colleagues has just put in some more details into the chat with regards to the employability survey. So if anyone has any questions about career opportunities post-graduation, all the information is there. But for now, thank you very much. I hope this has been informal. We look forward to seeing you guys soon. If anyone's missed anything, all your details will be shared with the University of Essex Online, and they'll be in touch. Thank you very much. Take care.